Bad morning, everyone. Welcome to another frustrating edition of Diatribes from the Voice of Doom. Now here is your disgusted and nauseated Voice of Doom. Thank you, Mr. Announcer, and thank you for refraining from the word good. I just got through chanting and praying, and I always try to do that before a diatribe because the universal forces help me be a little bit more articulate. I left the candles burning for the victims and the families and everyone who died and is affected, and their lives will be ruined because of the idiocy of Petri dish. And it's the 27th, and there hasn't been any explosions so far today, but the toll went up a bit. I'll update you a little. 12 to 13 killed Marines. Around 90, I don't think they've got a full count yet of Afghanistan's, but on the bright side, 28 Taliban were killed in the blast. So I guess that's Petri Dish's foreign policy, is let them keep, killing Americans and blowing up everything until they blow each other up. So that's brilliant strategy, and I really never would have thought of it, and it's kind of, kind of novel. We will not forgive. We will not forget. We will hunt you down and make you pay. That's what the American people should be saying to Petri Dish right now and his entourage. That's what our motto should be. Not e pluribus unum, and not don't tread on me, but we will not forgive, we will not forget, we will hunt you down and make you pay. That's what we should be all saying to Petri Dish right now. And the fact that there's not 10 million people clogging the streets of D.C. right now, demanding that he get out, like today, now, like start packing, and we're not going to leave until we see you out. And we're not going to let traffic, and we're not going to let business resume. We're not going to let anything happen. Congress, you're on notice, too. And clog everything. The mall, everything. Crowd all the monuments. Crowd them all. Get 20, 30 million people in there. And say, we're not leaving until you get out. I'm sick of this. I'm watching the so-called American media. I don't call them mainstream media. They're all in it together. I'm not going to even watch a lot of these places anymore because they're not angry enough. They're still discussing it rationally, like, you have your point of view. Well, my point of view, it was all Trump's fault. I would not allow that on my network. That would be a fireable offense. I don't give a crap about free speech. I don't want irresponsible speech that continues the division. Now, it's about time that the other side started getting scared of saying who they're with. Spent 4 years being shy about saying that we like Trump because there were so many idiots out there that would just brand us as racists and misogynists and what have you, hate everybody. Now you see. No, you don't see. I don't think you see at all. I really don't. And I'm sick of this mainstream media, and they're still doing satire. I mean, they won't be doing it today and tomorrow, I hope, but they're still doing satire about the Taliban, and it's like, you cannot make jokes about this and make a little skit about the new and improved Taliban. Yeah, that's all funny if it was like, some stupid country like El Salvador or whatever, where there were atrocities there too. And now it's a pretty nice country. Nobody's coming up here from El Salvador, I don't think. So I guess you got to blow yourself up and start cutting off a lot of heads before you finally turn it around. These are my notes on Petri Dish's last idiocy. It's a hodgepodge of crap. I couldn't write it down fast enough. Tough day was his opening words. Tough day. It's like he plays down everything as if, well, it was a bad day today, but tomorrow will be better. Disgusting piece of crap. We've been engaged all day, working hard. Yeah. He works hard. It's hard that he has to come out every day now because that wasn't part of the plan. The plan was to keep the Petri dish of putrefied excrement of a diseased jackal down in his basement indefinitely. We'll call him a caretaker president as he's down in the basement, making paper airplanes. And that was going to be their strategy. And now it's like, no, now we have to drag this guy out, and he's got to say something every day, and he doesn't have the stamina for it. I mean, forget stamina. He doesn't have anything for it. He doesn't have the moral integrity. He doesn't have the strength. He doesn't have the mental capacity. And we're still saying, I still hear these middle left-wing touts saying, when they say Biden should resign, it's like, well, that's not going to happen. That's going a little far. Resign? He's going to be tried for crimes against humanity if he manages to stay on this planet. Tried and jailed for life, which won't be a long sentence. Situation is evolving. Or is it devolving? It's evolving. It's devolving. It's getting worse every hour. Every hour it gets worse. He's did the same thing I talked about in the history of war in one of my first episodes. He's linking the warriors to the reason that we were there. He consecrates his fuck up by paying homage to the warriors that fight. Old stuff, man, and people are starting to see through it. I'm seeing through it. I don't know about everybody else. I saw through it a long time ago. We have a great military, so don't blame them. Our hearts ache. I wish his heart would ache. I wish his heart would ache very badly. I'm heartbroken. I wish their hearts would be broken, and not in the figurative sense. Not the metaphor if I'm broken-hearted. No, break their hearts. We have a sacred obligation. We have a sacred obligation. Oh, and then here we go. Is this disgusting? Is this nauseating, vomit-inducing crap from a piece of... Not even, because excrement can be useful. My kid died too. Do you believe that? You want us to now, share in your sorrow because your kid died too, so I know what you're feeling. Your kid died too because of your fucking stupid-ass karma. Pardon. But that's why he died. He died for your sins. We're going to hunt you down and make you pay. Yeah? How? He said that the Taliban released the ISIS prisoners, and that was a good thing because then they were going to fight each other, and that was all part of his foreign policy. Because he's the most brilliant foreign policy wonk in the history of the United States. No one knows more than him. No one. They gave me a list of who I'm instructed to ask. He says it out loud, as if, that's his usual stick now. Ugh, I'm going to get angry. He blames his military advisors. He blamed his military advisors. It's all their fault. They told me wrong. Then we get into the real hubris and the real scum. We inherited this situation because of the Afghan army. We'll have more time to talk later. It's not over yet. In other words, after August 31st, we can forget about all this and move on to the more pressing problems of, as he puts it, I guess there are threats closer to home that he has to worry about. There's terroristic threats closer to home that he has to worry about. And he said that, and if you look at his speech, he said it, and he said it a few times. And I think I know what he's talking about. I think he's talking about this January 9th thing. It's like those are the terrorists that are close to home that we have to worry about. Not Taliban, not ISIS, not al-Haqqani, not, or Haqqari, or whatever the hell it is. Networks and big, huge syndicates of terrorists that are all banding together now. Disgusting. And of course he has to say, my hands were tied. My hands were tied by the previous president who wanted to get out even earlier. Just think how bad it would have been if we did that. That's the kind of words that cause insurrection. And I'm not talking about taking a flag and breaking a door down with it. I'm talking about insurrection. And I want insurrection. And I want everybody to dress up in Viking costumes and insurrect. And not only did he create like 10 million more damn terrorists by his stupidity, people that were our allies are now going to be terrorists because they hate his frickin' guts. They hate him even more now. Their families are all being blown up. They're standing in the sewer. And they just can't wait to get back into the sewer after the explosion starts. Yeah, his pullout was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So, yeah, it would have been worse if we had followed Trump's plan of getting out at May 1st. But we had to stick to his plan of getting out of Afghanistan before September 11th because we want to claim victory on the 20th anniversary. That'll be a great day in America. Well, I won't say America. There is no America. It'll be a great day on that landmass that used to be known as America. Erdogan of Turkey will administer the Hamid Karzai Airport. That's the kind of news you don't get in America because you don't watch Gravitas and Wyan. That's an international and Indian news organization which makes our organizations look like a middle school newspaper, school newspaper. Really ridiculous, and they should get with it. And I noticed that the stock market still keeps going up. Now, apparently, I remember the days not too long ago when there was instability, the stock market reacted negatively because they don't like instability. Now there's a whole new strategy. It's like whatever happens, we can make money off it. So the stock market is skyrocketing because of the explosions and the chaos, because there's going to be money to be made somehow. We're going to have to spend more on defense. We're going to have to spend more on security. We're going to have to spend more on infrastructure and the cyber, protection. So let's keep investing our money in those things and take advantage of this horrible situation financially. And their karma is really bad because they're just opportunists. And I can't wait to see the stock market down to about 500 or 600, which will demolish everybody's portfolio, demolish it. And they can go ahead and try to get out early. Don't even think about it because whatever money you make and put it in the bank will be worthless. So I thought I'd go on and on about that nauseating, disgusting, vile piece of crap that we call Petri dish. And I probably could, but that's all I have on my notes for the most part. And I will have more because we got 4 more days. And it'll probably get progressively worse each day, except I told you what would happen in my last episode or 2. We'll take the maximum steps necessary. Let's have a moment of silence. I wish he'd have a moment of silence. I wish he'd be silent for the rest of his life. Have a moment of silence starting now, and don't stop being silent until you shuffle off this mortal coil. That's it. I think we created more terrorists in America, and I don't mean insurrectionists. I mean the friends, family, parents, and associates of all the Marines that were killed unnecessarily. I'd be pissed. If it was my son, oh my God. I'd have to be praying 24 hours a day to keep from doing something. So leave it at that. I don't want to hurt anybody. They're hurting themselves. Their destruction will be of their own making. So I'm not going to, I'm not interested in doing something violent. I got my own karma to think about. I'm doing what I can here. And if you guys aren't listening, then you're not listening and you'll never see this video. And by the time they unearth this video from the rubble, they'll go, yeah, this guy, they should have listened to him. I'll leave it at that. I think I said enough, and I can't stand that Petrie. Goodbye.